What's up, Mike? How the heck are you? Another beautiful day. Thought we were going to get some weather here earlier. Just kind of rumbled and went on by. We need some rain pretty bad down here. It's drier than a popcorn fart. But, well, let's see. What's the big news? Big news is uh, Musk buying Twitter. My week has been blah. We've been gotten so slow at work. It's just ridiculous. I had to work today and I did a whopping one oil change and tire rotation. That was it. I was knocking him down, let me tell you. But God, I feel like a critter's crawling on me. And no, I haven't done anything. I don't do none of that stuff. But word up, word up, Steven. Word up. Trying to think of who that was that's saying that. God, what was his name? Beer pong. Man, I haven't played that in a year or two. Like 20 or 30 years, maybe. I don't drink beer that much. I don't think it was Weird Al. Here, we'll find out real quick. Cameo. That's who it was. I couldn't remember who it was, but it's Cameo. Yeah, I seen that. Naomi Judd passed away. My wife was telling me about that today. They had a picture of her on Facebook with Winona. But Steve and I have been kind of watching here and there about the Johnny Depp thing, and don't know quite what to think of it. Pretty jacked up, whatever it is. I hope they can come to some kind of conclusion, but that sure is ugly. I mean, it doesn't have to be that ugly. I got this pet peeve. Yeah, I think she is too. She's a pretty face, but I think she's mental. That's for sure. So I've been chasing this thing, trying to come up with a. Yeah, that's for sure. The whole world is definitely getting ugly. So this peeve of mine, as of course, I've been shopping marketplace, looking for a shuttle bus that I'm going to convert into a camper. And I've run across some of them that have already been done, kind of like a schoolie, only not a school bus. This is actually like a shuttle bus. They're a little bit smaller, quite a bit. Biggest peeve I got is when you've got somebody that puts an ad on marketplace and they don't answer the ads. Excuse me, sometimes they'll give contact information, but you reach out to the seller and nothing. It's like a ghost town. Now I get it. I get it. Some of them are scams. I know that. But usually you can tell by the wording or if they only have one picture. But whenever I sold something on Marketplace, if somebody wanted, which has been pretty rare, but if somebody wanted something and they asked me a question, I was on top of it, to let them know that, hey, I did get your message. But it's ridiculous. I mean, to me, don't put your ad up there if you're not going to, pay attention to it. It's that simple. Yeah, but Mike, I think that's going to be too short and too narrow, body wise. What I've been looking at is like an older Kodiak bus, shuttle bus, and I think I figured it out because they make different lengths of those. Um, if it's anything less than about 18 passenger, it won't work because you won't, since there's no slides in it. You got to take into account if you're trying to put everything in there, like your bed and a bathroom and a little kitchen, so on and so forth, plus having a place to sit. Um, you really can't do it for. You could probably do a 24, but there's a couple I'm looking at that are like 28 that would work. And there's one right here close to me, and I've left this guy message on message on message. Prison bus. No, I'm not gonna do a prison bus conversion. It's pretty funny though. Um, and I'm gonna tell you, there's some people out there that done some really nice school bus conversions, but they're just a little bit too long. Um, a 28 passenger is about what I've been looking at, and they're about the right length. They're about 35 feet total, 35, 36 feet, which is perfect because you can get those and you can get them in just about any park or campground without any problem, and they're pretty easy to drive. I found a Freightliner. It's built on the old M2 chassis, which is I guess one of their better conversions. They used it between 2000 or 97 and 2008, I think it was. And this is an '03, and it could have either um, it could have a Cummins or a Cat in it. I'd like to. It'd be great if it had a 31 or a C7 or 3126 Cat in it. I would be tickled to death with that. The only problem with this one that I found is it's got a lot of miles on it. And I don't, granted, being a commercial chassis, it shouldn't be that big a deal um, because they're good for tons of miles. I don't know how accurate Google is at predicting how long they would go on between a um, major overhaul or anything like that, because they're saying 200,000, and I think they're smoking something. Um, yeah. Um, I think 28 foot long would just be a little bit too short to make everything work, to be able to put a normal size bed in there instead of like the RV bed. So it's a little, everything normal will fit. Be able to have a decent sized bathroom to where you're not, fighting for space. And I think on the bathroom for me, well, you could put a sink in there, I guess. I mean, it didn't really matter, but to make everything work, I think it'd have to be at like a 28 or a 28 passenger. But anyway, this Freightliner's got over 300K on it, but it's cheap. And the gals actually called me back, and the thing looks like it's in really good shape. I'd like to go look at it. I was going to do it today, but I had to work. So she gave me her contact information, and if things work out, I may try to go down next weekend and see it because it's down south of me, quite a ways. I'll leave out early in the morning and go check it out. Take some pictures of it, see if she's got service records. Since it was church owned, I'm hoping that they've maintained it, and they had a fund for it. It's kind of funny. They said the reason why they're selling it is because they don't have a driver for it anymore. What's up, Jerry? Mike, there's somebody on there right now that's selling it's a Prevost conversion. It used to be a bus, I do believe. Uh, cheap. It's got an 8V71 in it. Detroit, which is, pretty good engine. It's not the 92, but yeah, Jerry, get to feeling better, buddy. Missed you past couple of weeks. Usually you're in here gabbing with us. But Mike, like I was saying, that there's this Prevost on there that somebody's already done a pretty nice conversion on it. They only want 15 grand for it. That's pretty cheap for a tag axle Prevost. I'd imagine it's an 8V71 TA, which is turboed. Yeah, anyway. It looks pretty decent, but it was on Marketplace. I ran across it. But that'd be a good one to get for sure. It's just, for me, it's a little bit too long and too big. I don't think I could get the wife to drive something like that. She'll probably be squawking, wanting to, if she has to drive this Freightliner if we do that. But okay, you don't need it. I don't know if I did you any good, but there's a couple of them in there, Prevosts, that are real reasonable priced. Good candidates for conversions or ones that have already started on it. I was thinking there's also another one that's down south of me that's F550 Ford. It's an 03 with a power smoker in it. It's got less than 100K on it, and it looks to be about a 28 passenger. And I don't mind the power strokes at all. I mean, if you take care of them, they'll last a long time. And I know the problems they've got with them. Wow, that's cheap. But it's all up in the air. I want to see these things and, lay my hands on them, see them in person before I make a decision. I mean, if it's still around, it was meant to be. If it's not, then it wasn't meant. Plus, I think the Freightliner would have air suspension and air brakes on it, which means it would ride a whole lot better. But all depends. Like I said, I can't get anybody to answer, so maybe that's a good thing. She's having to come apart. I just can't afford, a camper payment or something like that. Well, not that I can, it's just I don't want one. But I tell you, there's a ton of school buses on here that you can get internationals for. Like, here's an '09 for 8,500. It's got an '03 for 6,500. Here's an Eldorado bus in South Carolina. I don't know what an Eldorado. Oh, that's like an old um, city bus. Got 2 doors on it. Cummins with an Allison. That wasn't a dog, by the way, Mike. That was my cat. Uh, she goes around and she just wails like that every once in a while. Just, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if it's because she can't hear. I don't think she can hear. Maybe she can. Um, yeah, right. Um, but she just cries like that a lot. She's very needy. She wants to be held most of the time, but then she doesn't sit still. She starts squirming around and she won't sit still. So I don't know. She's getting up there in age. Well, one of the other guys, I can't remember who told me about it, but excuse me. It might have been you, Mike, that told me about the my thumbnail. I found your picture, your transmission case for a sink. Yeah, Mike, I don't think she's gonna go into heat since she's been fixed. She's been spayed. But yeah, I left a message for one of these guys that I wanted to look at his bus tomorrow. Never did get back with me, so I guess I'm not doing that. Not unless he gets a hold of me first thing in the morning. Although it's not that far. I think he's about an hour from me. But yeah, some of these people have done a really nice job on doing conversions. Look pretty good. There's some old ambulances in here. I don't think I could handle an ambulance. That would be kind of odd. Oh boy, Stephen, I bet that was something to be heard. Excuse me. Go pretty ladies around the world. Tell your sister, your brother, your mother too. Yeah. Phew, anything that's got dead people that had dead people in it, I don't think I can handle it. I just kind of creepy to me. Um, speaking of old cars, so one of my friends was telling me that he said, I want to get done with all my other projects and get me one of these Olds 98s. And I'm like, really? An Olds 98? He had pictured like an early 80s. I think it was an 80, 81, something like that. Olds 98. And I was just thinking that we had one of those growing up. Dad bought one brand new. Didn't even have, I think, 100 miles on it, and the oil pressure sender sprung a leak. He, he says, well, instead of driving it out there and having it towed, he just went and got one and put it in and never had another lick of trouble out of that car. But it was 83 Olds 98. It was black. It had a black vinyl roof on it and red velour interior, and it was plush. Car rode good. It drove pretty good. When I first started driving, I drove it quite a bit. In fact, I had to take my driver's license testing that big old tank. Needless to say, I had a little trouble with the parallel parking part, but hey, I did all right. Dude, that's creepy. If you guys ever watched the series Shameless on Showtime, that is probably some of the most brutal, funny stuff. You know, one of the guys at work got me turned on to watching that, and I'm up to season 7. But Frank gets together with this gal that's supposedly dying, and goes coffin shopping. He gets into the coffin and lays down. I'm like, nope, 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 that's just creepy to me. Granted, I know they're clean, but and Mike, I had one of my roommates, or my roommate that I had in my duplex when I lived up north. He had a 80, 87 Olds Cutlass. It wasn't a Hearst, but he put the old slotted mags on it, and it was a T-top car. And he took the 307 out of it and put a 403 in it, and that car was pretty cool. Yeah, I could see where that's going. She probably peed her pants. Ugh. Kind of like the Undertaker from WWE. Oh, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. But how about old freaking, she put the sugar in my gas. Oh, nice. That's not really fair. That's not worth doing that, but so how about old freaking Elon Musk buying Twitter? That's just hilarious. And the brats are just turning over in their grave. They're like, "Oh, what are we gonna do now? Blah blah blah. Our lives are over to speak of." Wow, that one's beat up. what they're talking about. One of these said that had a twin turbo 6.4 liter International. That's the damn Ford motor. And they had lots of trouble with those 6.4s. Yeah, I seen that. And what do you blame him? He's got his own social media deal, True Social. Now, that would be great. Uh, one of the headlines that one of the I think Beck had a headline says, did Elon Musk buying Twitter just cause a turning of the tables for free speech? Which I think he did. I really do. Not, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen yet, and of course, it's all speculation till everything's done, and it's going to take probably 6 months to complete the deal. But, uh, yeah, it needs to be. Yeah, Stephen, there's been some talk about, he may put out a mystery tweet out there or something like that. Excuse me, just um, out of a whim, just to put it out there. That's if his account gets reactivated, which we don't know if it's going to get reactivated or not. But I don't look for him to get back on there, really. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. We shall see. We shall see. It's crazy to see how much junk mail you get anymore. Coinbase. I don't even know what Coinbase is. Yeah, so I mean, he's got the True Social. There's also talk that True Social is supposed to be supposedly going to join forces with Rumble, um, because of what Rumble can offer, since they're going to offer video streaming and that kind of stuff, which, well, they already do. But yeah, there's been some talks about Rumble and True Social getting together, which, man, that would make a powerhouse. Yeah, I'm sure it is, Mike. I don't get involved in any of that stuff. I don't particularly agree with it. Just like I hope they don't come up with that digital dollar. Uh, Man, that'll screw the whole financial system up in a hurry. But anyway, I've had some requests to do a 6L80 on the channel. I need to get time, and I would do that. What's up, Mark? Welcome to the program. If you would call it that, it's not really much of a program. It's just a gab session, basically. See what's going on with everybody during the week. My computer says it's raining now. Last time I was outside, it wasn't doing anything. Well, that's over in Ocala. And I can't get it to go away. It won't disappear. Maybe I click on it again. There it goes. Want to keep asking me dumb questions. Who's asking you a dumb question? Only dumb questions are the ones that you don't ask. That's what I was always told. It may sound stupid as hell, but there's got to be a reason behind it. Well, I figure it's to keep you on your toes, is what I figure. It's a way they keep you on your toes and see if you're paying attention. That would be my guess, anyway. Dang, this bus conversion's got like 6 of those freaking fantastic fans in the ceiling. I stand corrected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good Lord. Queen size bed in the back and 4 twin size bunks. Wow. Anyway, like I was saying, they had some requests to do a 6L80 on the channel. I've got one out there that I can do. Just a matter of finding the time, I guess. Find some free time. I've got so many projects I'm in the middle of right now. I still got a trailer full of leaves out there I've been trying to pick up, which, tell you the truth, it's really nice to do it at night. It's right up close to the house, so it wouldn't take much to do them, but motivation sometimes. And like somebody said last week, I need to have a fire sale and get rid of all this stuff. I'm gonna keep my Camaro though. I just got to get my engine out of the donor, engine and transmission stuff out of the donor, and it's got the 9-bolt rear end in it, and I want to get it out. Basically, I need a drivetrain anyway for my other 87, so. And I think I'll probably sell the other 87 I got. Nice. Good job, Mark. Yeah, occasionally those do go bad. When I did that fuel tank in Charlie Brown, the Sable I've got, and I just left it in the shop and didn't even mess with it. And man, the other day it was starting to stink so bad. I was like, I told Steve, "Hey man, help me dump this tank out. I gotta get this tank out of the shop. It freaking reeks." And I kid you not, it looked like shellac coming out of there. It was thick and gold and stunk. And like I said, finally got it out of the shop. So I think one of the guys at work will buy that Sable if it's of any interest to him. I'm just going to sell it as it is. I don't have time to jack with it. I got too many other projects. Yeah, right. Good nose clearer also. Get your sinuses unplugged for sure. But I'm excited about this bus thing. I think I'm probably the only one. And I'm sure I'll get ripped because it'll be a bad decision. It'll only be a bad decision when I'm out camping in it. But yeah, I found all sorts of neat places that have got parts for these. One of them was Rec Pro, um, Progressive Dynamics has a lot of the um, circuit breaker panels and fuse panels, and then they got this tank mart that you can get about any size of freaking waste or like gray water tank you want, about any size. I was like, that's pretty dang cool. I think it'll be fun. I like a good challenge sometimes. Sometimes. Just it's tough when you don't have a lot of support. Um, Somebody to get behind your ideas and say, "Hey, yeah, I understand that it's much easier to go out and buy something that's already done. I get that. But when you are on a very limited budget, um, you figure out ways to make something work." So I don't even know if there's a way to look up um, um, what that thing would be worth. What would that be? Um, Manufactured homes, boats, RVs. know how I would do that. Um, what is What if there's a guide for that? Well, it doesn't tell me squat. Bus Blue Book. Bus transform is 50 to 50 gallon water tanks, one for water and one for. Yeah, I agree, Mike. They're like I said, they've got uh, on this Tank Mart, and they're not real expensive. They've got all different sizes and shapes of tanks to fit where you need to fit them. And once you get your floor plan layout, then you can find out where you want to do it. And that's the whole thing, is getting the thing, getting the seats out of it if it isn't already done, and then measuring your floor plan, sitting down with a piece of paper and a pencil, and laying out what you want for bathroom and size of the fixtures, and how you want everything to sit in there. That way you can plan out, like if the thing's got a heater that's in the floor, which some of these do. Um, unless you're going to take that heater out, you need to take an account for it, which I think would be dumb if you did, because at least going down the road, you'd have heat in the coach at the same time. That way, if you put propane on it, which I probably would, just to run a furnace while you're hooked up to shore, a furnace and a range. Really, I didn't think that would work. Yeah, it's funny, Mike. I took some drafting classes, so you know, of course, it's used a little bit, but I think I get a lot of it from my dad, because my dad did a lot of drafting for his job, and I picked up on a lot of the stuff that he did. So, um, they make this grid paper that comes in a big tablet that you can do all sorts of stuff with, and of course, once you get your measurement on, you can do your squares to whatever your however many squares to an inch or so on and so forth, and you basically make yourself a blueprint of the floor. Um, that way, you know how to run your plumbing and your electrical and so on and so forth. And because you're going to have to add electric, you're going to have to add an inverter. Um, you could just do a converter, but I'd probably do an inverter. And a 28 passenger, especially a bus, and it's not doesn't have any slide outs. I'd probably use 2 AC units. Um, just because I know how our fifth wheel with one unit, it was only 28 foot, but it's struggled to keep that camper cool. And I'm thinking if you could get two of the like 13,005 BTU units and stick it on top. And if you're going to strip the inside, you can pre-wire it for solar, which would be something I'd want to do. Um, you don't have to I never used a skylight, and I would use a fantastic fan, especially in the bathroom. But other than that, I don't know that I don't want to. My wife always complained about having the skylight in the bedroom, and I don't blame her. It was, it's if you wanted to sleep in, it was a pain in the butt. But I would definitely put one in the bathroom. It's nice to have one in the shower. Um, and then, of course, put a fantastic fan in there to suck out the humidity, and you'd be good to go. But I think the same thing happened to me when um, I was working parts. I was a parts wholesale guy. I worked the back counter with the guys in the shop back when the wife and I first got together, and there was this redheaded tech in there that was always giving me a hard time. And he says, "You can't go back to doing this. You can't go back to doing this. Blah 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 blah." Gallon of free Febreze. I wouldn't want to be around you then. But he basically said, "Oh, you can't go back to turning wrenches." And I was like, "That's not something you tell me. You can't tell me not to do something. You just can't. You can't challenge me like that and expect me to just to set it out, because I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to sit it out." Foxy, what are you doing, girl? What are you doing? I know you went in there. You always went in there. I would pick her up and let you see her, but she doesn't like to be picked up. She's kind of a chunky monkey, but she's pretty active. I'm talking about Foxy the cat. They might if you piss them off, Steven. Otherwise, we got some really good cats. But anyway, she talks a lot when she wants to go in the bedroom or something like that. Oh, my goodness. My goodness, my goodness. Keep it in the family, right? It's funny how that works. But that's the whole thing about doing something like this. Man, my wheels start turning and I'm thinking all sorts of stuff. And I'm already laying it out in my head and how things are going to go. Hey, purple border collie, haunted morals. Oh, hunted morals today. Only found 2 picked up, 20 ticks. We haven't had enough rain down here to have anything show up. Foxy Mama, what are you doing? What are you doing? You can't get under the door. 2 mushrooms. Yeah, I knew what you're talking about. I know what morels are. 10 honeycombs. I got a bunch of pine combs here. They're like rocket launchers when they come out the chute of the mower deck. But I haven't mowed. I've mowed a couple of times. Mowed the field once already, but man, we've been so dry down here. Everything's going dormant again. Mike, I like those ones that you can get when you go to some of these places. They got stuffed mushrooms. Oh, they're so good. But I'm going to tell you, those things tear me up something fierce. I don't know why it is, but my Lord, are they good? But man, they don't agree with me. Mark, yes, sir. I have 3 of them. I have 3 cats and 3 dogs and a horse. Oh, I know. What are you doing? You're talking a bunch tonight. And no, I'm not going to let you in the bedroom. If you had some meat around your neck, I'd pick you up. You're all muscle, right? But yeah, there's some things I can't eat anymore, like shrimp. I used to eat the hell out of shrimp. Man, I don't know what it is anymore. I don't know if I keep getting bad shrimp or something like that, but every time I get it, man, I'm paying for it. We went to there's a seafood place down here that's every Monday night they get all you can eat crab legs. And we haven't been there since the prices skyrocketed because of all this shortage and stuff like that. Used to be like $40 for all you can eat crab legs, which is a pretty good deal. Well, now it's $60. And I usually get jambalaya because I love it. It's so good. You know what? I ought to make some of that. And I usually get an order of crab cakes because, and there are 3 crab cakes. They're probably about that big. But my damn crab cakes cost as much as the stupid jambalaya did. I'm like, holy cow, that was expensive dinner. I think the bill come up to, for the 2 of us with drinks, it was like $104. I was like, good Lord. Yeah, I mean that's entirely possible. I mean, it could just be that the the shrimp wasn't cooked right. I don't know. Because I really like the peel and eat shrimp and you boil them in the water and then they're um they're peel and eat. They're cooked. You peel the shell off of them and eat them, and they're fantastic. I love them that way. I like a good butterfly fried shrimp too, not the little popcorn, but the ones that are good size. Those are really good. Mud puppies. It's like Jeff Foxworthy saying, "Somebody bacon flavored a turd." He's talking about eating turkey bacon. Excuse me. I was sitting outside earlier tonight, and it was just beautiful because the front had moved through, and it was cool. It had a light breeze, and there is a restaurant in town uh, that does live music, and I could hear them from the house, and they're probably a good 2 miles away. It was carrying the sound, and the band sounded pretty good. Crawfish gumbo. I uh I got some Zatarain's dirty rice. Um I'm gonna make here. I like using the Zatarain's for the jambalaya that I do. I got some sausage I picked up and chicken, and boy does it make good freaking stuff. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I can't quit yawning. But anyway, like clean rice. Freeliner. 2003. How the hell is this supposed to work? Oh, it's not what it's supposed to be. It's another oddball freaking site. Didn't even see that, and I clicked on it. Sold. Current inventory, it says. All these buses built on Chevrolet or Ford chassis. Oh, there we go. 2017 Gretsch Motors GM40 Executive Style Shuttle. That's a fancy dude right there. 38 passenger. Call for price. It's out of my price range. I need cheap Cheap, 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 cheap. Did I win 20 million? Man, I wish. Wasn't me. Retired judge accused of leading to human trafficking. That doesn't surprise me, Mike, at all. Does not surprise me. Purple, I've got to play to be able to win, and I don't play, so I guess I don't win. I'm blessed in so many other ways anyway, so I'm fortunate to be here for sure. Very fortunate. Apparently, the good Lord's not done with me yet, so here I am. Here I am, rock you like a hurricane. Rock you like a hurricane. Ooh. MCI DL 355 passenger motor coach, 40 grand. Coach buses. How about transit buses? That's not what one either. School buses. Las Vegas bus sales. Woo! I don't think they got anything I want there. Yeah. Wear a diaper. That's no lie. I'm watching my dashboard. Well, somebody's asked me a comment that I haven't responded to. I have a 4L60 4x2 out of a 2000 S10. See if I can get to that comment there. Rebuilt about 12,000 miles ago. First, second, reverse work fine. Third and fourth gear will work if you manual shift to them and use the gas pedal. They both still slip and fall out of gear when slowing down. That's no bueno. Oh, let's see. Somebody asked me about some videos. That would have been Mark. The answer to that question is, Mark, I have not had time to do anything on this lately, and I've still got, this is about the extent of it right now. I've still got 3 or 4 videos in the middle of editing. Never have gotten close to it. So I've got the camera charged up and ready to do some more too, but I just haven't had time to do anything. Anything that I think that you guys would be interested in putting on the channel, you know what I mean? In fact, a lot of the stuff that I used to watch on YouTube, I don't even do that much anymore. It's just been too busy. I watch YouTube entirely too much anyway, the way it is. Been watching a lot of the people at uh, full-time RV, and it's, kinda interesting. Wow, Ford's not gonna be at SEMA in 2022. Interesting, I wonder what their plan is behind that. Yeah, that was the Glenn Beck deal, and, for that ad I was telling you, it says, "Did Elon Musk launch us into a post-woke world?" But anyway, we got 5 messages. I think everybody's been slowing down it. You know, we got to talking about that the other day, before I left. Uh, the fixed ops guy at her shop, actually, he's the owner's. He is the owner's father. Is our fixed ops guy. But anyway, we got to talking about you know this electric car BS and everything else, and he brings up a valid point. There's a couple new gas stations going in. So riddle me this: if they were so worried about gas going somewhere, why are they putting all these new gas stations in? Um, for one, we can't get enough materials to manufacture the batteries. Um, we can't get enough materials to manufacture the parts to make these cars anyway, whether or not they be running on, whether or not they're an ice or an electric, or yeah. I mean, how is that going to work? There is no way to make everything electric. Just the sheer stupidity of this whole thing, and the fact that our numchuck freaking leader, so called, won't let us be energy independent, with gasoline and stuff like that. Just the carbon footprint for an electric car when that thing gets retired is far higher than it is of a natural combustion style engine car. Um, Nobody's going to pay to recycle that car, and you have to recycle the battery to be um, what am I saying? Being a responsible owner of all that good stuff. So I guarantee people aren't going to pay to get rid of a car. They're going to want to try to sell it, but you know, once the thing's dead and say it needs a battery and it costs more than the damn car does, so what do? You just throw it away. Well, you can't just throw it away. You have to recycle that battery and all the components that are in it. I just I never see this whole thing working. I mean, it's just that kind of that common sense thing. Oh yeah. Jeep's been around for a long time, but they're not the Jeep of the yesteryear by any means. They make it look a lot the same, but they're not, especially since they've lengthened the wheelbase of it. They still drive kind of funny to me. I think it's just the way they are. At any rate, well, y'all, I think I'm going to call it a night. It's a short one. I guess it's short. Hell, I've been on here over an hour already. But thank you for all that stopped by and all that commented. I appreciate you all, really do. Even though there's not a whole lot of you out there, I still appreciate every one of you. So, y'all take care of yourself, take care of each other. God bless you and God bless America. Take care. We'll see you next week. Bye.